All right. So second league of the day, just finished up a thrilling 3-2 league with Esper Shadowblade. Lost in round 4 to Jun because we mulled to Oblivion. Lost in round 5 to Hardened Scales. Not one on our radar, but we're coming back strong with some Golgari Death Shadow. Just straight up green black, playing all-time favorites like Death Shadow, Tarmogoyf, Street Wraith, Thoughtseize Inquisition, Mishra's Bauble, adding in some traverse value with like Traverse the Ilvenwald, Hex Drinkers, Scourge of the Skyclaves, Tireless Tracker, Endurance, Grist. I got 4 copies of Urza Saga in here to take advantage of the fact that we're a 2-color mana base. You get Mishra's Bauble, Shadow Spear, Springleaf Drum, Nihil Spellbomb. In the board, we've got 2 Brutality, 2 Turok, a Necromentia, Soul Guide Lantern, 2 Chalice of the Void, 2 Engineered Explosives, an Unlicensed Hearse, 2 Veil of Summers, an Abrupt Decay, and a Choke. Take a breath. All right. So let's go ahead and hop in. And I know some of the most common questions that everybody's always got are like, oh, Shadow Spear and Death Shadow. That's a nombo. That's bad. If Shadow Spear is what you're getting off of Kirk or off of Urza Saga and what you want to be doing the game that you get it, it's probably just going to win you the game. So against like Burn, you could strap up a Shadow and hit once, whatever. But if you're just like getting a Tarmogoyf or a Construct and swinging in with it strapped up with a Shadow Spear, you don't care that your Death Shadows are dead or stuck in hand because you're winning the game. And that's like most important part at the end of the day is winning the game. It looks like a lot of the normal culprits are all hot on the new leaderboard. Congo we played the other day. Antoine we played a couple times. RVNG, Jose, Benino, Amplum, Hugo. Can we win a die roll? All right. Got an Inquisition. We got a Death Shadow. Got some 3 drops, but hopefully we'll find land in the meantime. Mill. Beginning of each end step, each player mills X cards, where X is the number of cards put in their graveyard from anywhere this turn. Well, let's take that. We'll added benefit of growing Tarmogoyf if we happen to find one. Alright, opponent, you're not milling me fast enough, so... Alright, well, at least if they have to fetch and stuff, then Scourge could be live. It's just like straight mono blue mill. All that and Traverse isn't even online yet. Speak of the devil. Wait for him to mill me one more time so I can traverse for like a street wraith or something and get Shadow online. Grab. No. Did give us Delirium at least. So. Okay. So let's start with Traverse. Oh, we can just get Endurance. Let's do that one. Let's just get the card that like single-handedly wins the game for us. Wait and see if they like put a Fractured Sanity on the stack. Honestly, probably just let it resolve too. Whoops. Oh, man. That's the use I put Endurance in here for. For the mill matchup. That was pretty dirty. I feel a little bit bad. Like, not bad enough to apologize or anything of the sort, but a little bad. It's going to get me back with like an 8th rise. Go ahead and fetch now so they can't just like mill over all my overgrown tombs or something. But I did not even have it on my radar like, oh, Endurance just gives me free mill wins. Typically play Control, no sympathy for mill. I mean, I play Death Shadow like a Control deck sometimes. That's gotta count. Oh, Choke. Choke and Veil of Summer and... Gross. Shadow Spear I don't need. Poured out a couple Wraiths. Poured out a Grist. And... poured out another Wraith call today. No. Yeah. That's fine. Keep in a bunch of green cards for Endurance. The sideboard play makes it look like Mono Blue Mill shot your dog. They did. They know what they did. Alright, we got an Endurance. We got a Thoughtseize, an answer to a crab. Find lands eventually. Opponent doesn't have a Leyline of the Void, I think. Maybe. I guess they mulliganed. No ley line. Nice. Kind of hoping to just find more lands. Surgical Extraction, Fraying Sanity, Thought Scour. There is a Thought Scour in my opponent's Magic deck. I think I'm just taking Surgical. Like, it lets me keep going with Endurance. Alright, those aren't lands, so that's fine. Fractured Sanity, Flooded Strand, unknown. And we are very clearly the expert magicians who are going to draw land here. Like this. Okay. Okay. Would thou like to Fracturing Sanity my face? No, these are two different cards. This is the Aura. Okay. This is the one where I could find a land in Abrupt Decay. Just like that. Then I think I'm just going to pass the turn and plan on like Abrupt Decaying on their turn. I don't have to do anything until like their second main phase or whatever. If their turn is just like tap out to Fracturing Sanity me, why is everything involved with mill include the word sanity? Like, do they just know you must be losing your mind if you're playing this deck? Playing against this deck? Look at that. Opponent cannot be countered. Here's a Tarmogoyf. Carry on. They're just ripping like mono lands over there. Cards hath been milled. Alright, so we attack for 6. We play second Tarmogoyf. Next turn, we escalate Brutality for all it's worth. Somewhere between that and where we're at now, we can win the game. Go power Tarmogoyf. What you got? I'm ready to be traumatized. cards are gone. So I do not want to play this endurance until I absolutely have to. They're going to surgical my endurances now. Mine. Stay away. Thank you for the free 2 life. You a real G. Mill. Mill players are afraid everywhere that Golgari Death Shadow is going to take off in popularity. Retract. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. Opponent has mulliganed to 6. Spike-filled cave. They didn't reveal an Obosh. So what? This could be a scam deck. This could be just like mono red, but not Obosh. Manamorphose. I don't have a clue. Oh, Charbelcher. Gotcha. It's all coming together now. Oh. So am I taking the Charbelcher itself? Yes. Charbelcher gone. So right now, they don't have a second land without playing the Balaged Recovery. If they pay that, they can't get the Charbelcher back. All right, we are going to go with the Cast Death Shadows and try to get opponent dead plan. Not putting the evoke trigger on 2 so the endurance go back in the deck. I should have. You're correct. Easy Bella. What? Take their Bella? I thought about it, but if they just like ripped another land, then they just go Ritual, Ironcrag, Charbelcher, kill me. And I don't want to be dead to just like any mana source. So I think I'm going to try to not show them not show them anything I don't have to. Play out this in case their plan happens to involve Balaged on Charbelcher. You may absolutely miracle that. Because I don't believe... I mean, I guess they could just, like, luck into the win here. But it would have to be like land, ritual, Iron Crag, Charbelcher, exactly out of 7 cards. Or like Manamorphose into one of those pieces. And I think that's fairly unlikely. Okay, Charbelcher. Let's bring in some EEs. Just like wipe up clue tokens. Necromentia. Turok. Brutality. Just like try to see how much stuff we can get out of here. Want to keep in Abrupt Decay for Blood Moon. I guess. Good. No room for one Besagian 75. We probably could. Maybe over the Abrupt Decay. They mold to 5. Might have Leyline. Or might be mulling aggressively for Leyline. Let's see what they're drawing into. Serum Powder. Let's see what they're not getting to keep in hand. Let's take Reef Ross. They draw Serum Powder here that's dead for them. Street Wraith gives me Delirium, so I can Street Wraith, traverse for a Shadow. All right. Morphos, and we'll take a Ritual. Swing for 7. Kind of expected if they didn't draw anything right there, they were just going to scoop. But guess not. And we'll play Hex Drinker, level up once. Because next turn, this is level up 2 more times. It's a 4/4, which is more damage than like Turok plus Lily would be. just in case they deal with the shadow somehow. But 2040 to start the wonderful Golgari Death Shadow League. What do we got for round 3? Position. We've got a couple of redraws towards another land. Bauble and Wraith. Serum Powder deck. Are we against back-to-back Charbelcher? No, just mono colorless Tron. Triple powder indeed. Alright. Catacombs is good, so let's take a look at what we're drawing. Looking for a threat. Which that is not. Shuffle it away, see if we can find something relevant. I'm scared. I'm very, very scared. Shadow. Not a shadow. Second copy of Ensnaring Bridge. This is definitely a matchup I was prepared for and planned extensively to face. Got it. All right. Death Shadow. be careful about exiling their yard because of Karn. Well, thankfully they don't currently have a Karn that we know of, and they have exiled 2 of them that they can get anyway. Or, not exiled 2 Karns. They haven't exiled any bridges or... I mean, we're in a pretty atrocious spot regardless, so... Chalice is fine. Shuffle my stuff. Interesting. Should I just play Springleaf? How important is this attack? Probably not very. I guess I can't play Springleaf with Chalice. Never mind. Scratch that. Would have gotten there eventually. Maybe. So they've got Mystic Forge and Venner's Fair. Now Forge and Unknown. How do you find a welding jar off the top on the first play? Person draws savagely. You have not seen me play against every Tron opponent ever. They all draw savagely well against me. There's a Pithing Needle in exile. So maybe they don't have another Pithing Needle. It's pretty unlikely, but... Or no, they can't Pithing Needle with Chalice. Please go get a Pithing Needle. Please go get a Pithing Needle. I need this. They can grab Spyglass if they run 1 main. But there's no guarantee if they run 1 main. Yep. See if you're willing to use it. Bomb Track, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. Checking out some Golgari Shadow. Golgari Shadow that runs into Prison Tron. Alright, so Decay, Necromentia, EEs. Everything else is pretty bad. Turok's probably fine. Don't want Fatal Push, don't want Dismember. Shadow Spear. They do have Spell Skite. I really don't think I want to worry about Spell Skite. What Shadow deck would you play if there would be a big tournament tomorrow? What would I play if there's a big tournament tomorrow? Grixis is pretty safe, but I'd probably play either Jund or Blue-Black Murktide. Just because of the consistency. I don't think I want that. I think I'd rather find a threat. Threat has been achieved. I think I'm just taking Walking Ballista. Plan on get Shadow down and just like swing for a few turns. This way they can't Welding Jar the Walking Ballista and block. Yeah. Let's do that. Come on, second hand disruption. Basilisk Collar. Alright. Second Shadow. One time. Not a second Shadow, but we'll take it. Let's go you for just take Spyglass. I can play Shadow down and E. Dogfish, what's up? Yeah, I think the blue-black deck has got a good bit of fight to it. And the consistency is really nice against, like, just an unknown meta. Otherwise, like, Jund is very straightforward. How long have I been streaming for one league? No, this is the second. First one we played some Esper Shadow Blade. Went 3-2. We were on a pretty good roll. We ran into round 4 against Jund and just like did not see lands on any of our moles. And then round 5 we played against Hardened Scales. And we're just like, what? Minimize 1. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. Just seeing if I can get my opponent to go ahead and... Oh, they don't welding jar the chalice. That has to mean they drew like a map or something, right? Yeah, but like map's too slow now. They've got to find um, ensnaring bridge. Bridge or bust. All right. Played against Hardened Scales last night too. The 3-mana guy in Hardened Scales is pretty annoying. Aaliyah. They got me on turn 2 Gemstone Caverns on the draw. Or turn 0 Gemstone Caverns. Their turn 1, they played the 2-mana dude with Ward 2 that heroes whenever you play an artifact, and just had like that plus welding jar. I was like, what? I'll just run it back. So we've got sorcery, artifact, land into the yard very easily. I could play out a Scourge. Give myself creatures, have it like die to state-based actions. I think I'm going to keep it despite my better judgment. I'm going to draw this Street Wraith, right? I guess I can endurance them and traverse. That's something. Yeah, take a Tarmogoyf. Guaranteed threat. So they've got Tron, they've got Blast Zone, and Saga. We've got a Tarmogoyf. Had 7 straight 3/2s followed by 2 bad drops, but I've been running into the creature combo and Fury decks like 65% of my matchups. That sounds pretty rough. Not gonna lie. Alright. Welding Jar is a whiff as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't do a whole lot here. So we can at least like swing in with Goyf. That gets Scourge online. My mic sounds broken. How so? Like people earlier were saying that there was a lot of lag in the stream, which I think is because of the weather, because like all my connections are fine. Chalice on 1 is fine. I mean, if they just brick another turn or two, we've got a reasonable chance. Not great, but something. So if I endurance them, but they've already got creature in the yard, so I don't need to. Endurance doesn't grow anything. All right, so they whiff and they play Blast Zone and tick up. I get an attack in for 8. They blow up Blast Zone. I've got Endurance in, hit them for 3 down to 5. We take those. Okay. So let's... There's no way I can grow Scourge or Goyf. So we attack. Play EE. Say go. Construct can represent more damage than endurance. 2, 3, 4. One more point. Yeah. All right, that's a whiff. But if I construct, it also means I can't really crack this EE on 0. What are my Saga choices? Not a lot. Okay. So I make another construct. Go and get We just get Mishra's Bauble. And I give them one blind draw to hopefully not find anything that kills me. I'm not cracking this bauble. I'm not. Found Inventor's Fair. Why did they not sack the fair? One, two, three. They should have sacked the fair and gotten bridge there, right? Did they misclick? I think they misclicked. So they could have just like played this. They've got the artifacts. Pay 1, 2, 3, 4, sack it, go get ensnaring bridge, play it. Bridge might not be in their main. This is game 3. Why would Bridge not be in their deck anymore? Like, Bridge has to be in their deck. I'm a creature, aggressive creature deck. And they showed multiple Bridges game 1. Like, Bridge is there. They just misclicked. What's up with the recent Saga kick? Just exploring, having fun. All of the above. Like, I've mentioned that I want to try out the blue-red or Jeskai Saga Underworld Breach deck. I think it looks pretty fun. And this is kind of like my bridge over. Like, let me play some random games with Urza Saga and Shadow and stuff. I think I played against this person the other day. Yep. Alright, well, we can at least like traverse for a swamp. Honestly, free threats in a threat-like deck hadn't looked that horrible. Hadn't looked horrible. It hadn't looked, like, great either. It's just a new iteration of Rhinos. 5 color with leyline binding. Got Chalices, EEs, Abrupt Decay, Brutality maybe. Or we got Necromentia too. We got a few ways. Biggest tilt of this whole set is the only playable cards reward Pile and Cascade. I mean, that's what you do when you make a bunch of cards that say domain on them right after, like, a 4-color or 5-color pile deck has become the most played thing in the format, or one of the most played. hoping they were gonna try to ice my catacombs. All right. I'm just. Am I playing out of shadow? No. Guess I can't with not even because of ley line binding, but because of like fire and ice and all that stuff, and I don't want them just having like a free snipe on my shadow. Shadow without counter protection feels scary with all the solitudes, but the deck seems to work pretty well. Well, luckily we haven't run into many solitudes here, so. Fairy Time Reveler. Let's play out Goyf. And I think I'm just passing. So I feel like I'm probably going to have to like Decay plus Shadow next turn. Tribes might disagree that the only support was domain. I mean, you can say that tribes have gotten some support, but that's not enough to make them like good or playable if your goal is to win. Like adding a lord to a deck that was basically non-existent is a far cry from making it like relevant. Scion of Draco. Goblins won a challenge last weekend, right? The first weekend these new cards are printed. Yes, Goblins won a challenge. Like, I think you're reading pretty far into it if you're equating that with, like, the deck is good or the deck has got long-term potential. Like, it's a deck that nobody has been prepared for. Nobody's planning for anything like that. And it showed up one weekend. Like, bounce my Tarmogoyf. Add my daily spicy suggestion for a deck. You're always welcome to add a spicy suggestion if you'd like. I can't guarantee I'm going to play it, but you're welcome to throw your name in the hat with everybody else. Yeah, all ears. What you got? Rakdos Shadow with Vexing Devil and Scourges. No, that's bad. Vexing Devil is a bad card. Like, I feel like I'm on a bad car tangent today, but there's... I know this is why it's spicy. That's not a argument, though. It's just like saying spicy because it's not a good set of cards. Interesting. I guess technically they can't force a negation that, so... Maybe I'm supposed to lead on Traverse to try to, like, bait a force. Get a Saga. Get a Shadow. I guess they can't force Grist. All right, let's attack with Scourge. I want to attack with both, but if I do and they just like double block Goyf, Scourge isn't lethal. Or they just do that and take it. Attacking with both wouldn't have changed anything. All I gotta do is block one, take the other. Maybe they attack at Grist. Alright, so is it Rhino's control now? Scion to Fairy. Is this going to be like a situation where I gear heavily for Rhinos and they just like sideboard juke me into next century? Endurance or bust. Endurance didn't do it there, right? Or Endurance would only do it if I didn't attack and they didn't have an answer to anything. So, like, my only out, I think, was them blocking. Which clearly they did not do, so... Did they mulligan game one? No. I just mulled to 5. Ley Lines Void. You got it. Fairy Fury, 3 lands. Okay. All right, one more land deck. Land. Black Source. Black Source. All right. What are we getting off Saga? Probably just have to get like a Mishra's Bauble. Guess they're just gonna fetch to try to stop Pithing Needle. Test and see if they've drawn like Force and Negation blue card. They've got Temple Garden, Fury, Fire and Ice, Unknown. Like if I can find another land and just like dismember this Fury. You know what? It's by all technicalities a land. So I don't think I'm allowed to complain. Hopefully they just go hard cast Fury, pass. Oh, they've got double Fire and Ice, don't they? Or is this the same one? Can't tell with the art. Guess that's the same one. Got a Fury. All right. Fetch land. Fetch land. Now. Do I want to Shadow or do I want to Liliana? think I'm in agreement on the Lily plan. Force negation. One of their cards is the Temple Garden. Double Shadow is lethal with another fetch. Yeah, but we're assuming that they've got absolutely nothing. And that's like a pretty big assumption on turn 6 against this deck that's now running like Teferis and Leyline bindings and all this stuff. I don't want to just get a Shadow Spear just in case. Can't imagine it's right. So let's see what you're drawing. There's some number of Rhinos. Playing Inquisition. So if they have a violent outburst now, if they don't, I was just hoping I could maybe force them to have to use it there. So Odawara dead and gone. I'm just planning on bouncing everything from now until the end of time. Got it. Love how this deck has just turned into like, what can we do to bounce everything all the time, forever? Like how many Fire and Ice, Brazen Borrower, Dead and Gone, Odawaras can we play? Well, that's a pretty funny one. So I can cast Chalice on 0. They have to respond to the Chalice with Violent Outburst. They get the Rhinos. I blow up the Rhinos while Chalice is still on the stack. And then resolve Chalice. Respond with Outburst. We're going to hold control to make sure it doesn't like pass through Chalice or something. They resolve Rhinos. We crack EE. Blow up Rhinos. And then Chalice resolves. Hiya. It's dead and gone. It's not like any target, is it? It's only creature. That's a good draw. Swing in with Shadow, or attempt to. Too tired to listen correctly to you. Play Shadow. Tarmogoyf. There you go. Fury. Well, that looks pretty good against a Liliana of the Veil that I'm pretty positive they know I have. All right, on to game 3. Good times, good times. Anything we're changing up? I could bring in Veil of Summer. Stops a Teferi bounce. Stops ice on Fire and Ice. Petty Theft. Force of Negation. I also need to make sure I'm focused on, like, just trying to find, like, Tarmogoyf plus Shadow Spear. All right, so we've got Thoughtseize. We've got an answer to Scion of Draco. Redraw. Bit of a payoff. Tarmogoyf is a super good turn 2 pickup. I don't think I want another Fatal Push. So I think I'm just going to get basic Swamp and Thoughtseize. Like, I can pretty well lower my life total with just Overgrown Tomb, Dismember, Double Outburst, but they have no red mana currently. This puts instant in the yard. So they can't just Fury, but they can Fury plus Endurance. They're just like dead set on killing Tarmogoyf. So close. If they don't do anything here, am I supposed to Necromentia, like, Fury? Or do I still just Necromentia Crashing Footfalls and just say, like, I'm going to have to deal with the one they've got? Okay. So if I Necromentia the Footfalls, after the one they have resolves, they can endurance it back into the deck. I think I just kind of want to see if I can get them to, like, fire off this endurance right here. They picked up a Shardless agent. I gotta just take the agent. Do I have to take the agent? Yeah. Again, they don't have red mana currently. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll just whiff one more turn on red mana. It looks like they do. Like, honestly, I hope they go all in on just, like, Fury Endurance. Exile all the cards out of their yard. Huh. Well, now I don't care about Footfalls. So I think now it's just Chalice Grist. I think with this Chalice out, they might just have to, like, run through everything they've got to wipe my board. Like if their last two cards are another green card, another red card, then they can Fury 4 to Grist, Fury 3 to Goyf, 1 to the Insect. Oh no, Endurance still wouldn't do it because they have Artifact Creature and Instant. So something would still be alive. But they could leave me with like just the Insect token. That's only if they have another red card and another green card in hand right now. Fury and an Outburst. This and evoke Endurance. Yep. Endurance. They did have another red card. Okay. Really good draw. What is the most annoying card they can have that I can just like name with Necromentia here? Probably Leyline Binding. They've got only 2 lands, so I don't really care about any of like the evoke elementals. I think I'm just gonna Necromentia Leyline Binding. Pull 4 copies of that. So they've got the Seiju, Force of Vigor. Fairy would have been a reasonable name. Okay. Pass. Balls can't do anything. There's 3rd land. Liliana's good, but I think we're just riding this Saga out. their best card here would be like Endurance, but we just have Dismember and Fatal Push, so we don't really care about that. Footballs is fine. Constructs. Bobble. Okay. I like our chances. Survey says nice. How are we 4-0 with this? There's no way this can actually be good, right? Not possible. What were my matches so far? That's a good question. We played against the Footfalls deck there. We played against Charbelcher, Prison Tron, and oh yeah, I guess we do need to do a prediction. Sure. What was the last one? That control deck. Did we play against the control deck? Maybe. All right, let's do a prediction. Don't remember a control deck, but I'm also just like shocked we've made it this far. All right. Prediction is started. Feel free to get your votes in. Whether you think, yes, we're going to get the trophy. No, we're not going to get the trophy. Dragon Party Podcast. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Friday wherever you're at in the world. Came in just in time for our prediction. Oh, you say Rhino Control? Was that Rhinos? That was Rhinos. Just like that game one. Mill. You're right. Retract. Good call. That game one against Rhinos, they just had like pitch elementals and multiple Teferis and just like interaction like crazy, but weren't playing Rhinos. So yeah. Prison Tron, Mill, 5-color Rhino, Domain Rhinos, whatever we're going to call that now, and Charbelcher. Prison Tron, Mill, Rhinos, Charbelcher has been our 4 so far. We've got a little time left on the prediction. Looks like about 45 seconds. So if you haven't voted yet, get your vote in. Either, yeah, hell yeah, we're going to get this trophy, or nah, Mike's a scrub. We don't have a chance. For anybody that's just getting in time for the the last match, we were playing some Golgari Death Shadow with Urza's Sagas and Traverse and I don't know. So I think Prison Tron's my least favorite Tron. I would probably agree with you there. But I just hate all Tron, so. Alright. Prediction window is ended. Looks like we've got a lot of people voting for the affirmative. 91% voting for hell yeah with Golgari Shadow. Lucho Bridge, thank you so much for the follow. I'm glad you believe in me because I need somebody to. Broken Pixels, the Scourge been decent. I just showed up. I've only played it out twice. Once was in a game against Rhinos. We were like so far behind game one anyway. It didn't really matter. And then I played it out against Prison Tron, and it got a couple chunk pops in. Obosh. Oh no. But we just kind of looked for like one extra card and decided on Scourge. So it wasn't a ton of thought that went into it. So it is just straight mono red Obosh. Guess I'll draw this other Fatal Push. Need a second land. Good. We can get a basic swamp off of this and Fatal Push. And just like plan on going push into Goy into maybe Lily. And like say, hey, you're gonna be dealing damage to me anyway. I don't need to speed up the clock to get this shadow down. We're also just really hoping we find an Urza Saga because we do have a main deck Relic of Progenitus. Interesting that they would target me when they have the only creature. I'm gonna try to snipe like a seasoned pyromancer or something. Spike fields are only third land. Fable grows Goyf. I'm going down to 15. I can fetch and shock down to 12, but that doesn't do a lot of good. Fable. Get in a little bit of a chunk here. Say go. If they don't find an untapped land, then they can't crack Relic. Why do I say things? Gonna say they can't crack Relic and like stomp the Tarmogoyf. Glad to see him using a bolt on that. Down 12. So didn't quite do it. I think I'm just going fetch, shock, play Lily, ditch, fatal push. Cycle to see if we hit the fetch. I really don't want to, because, like, they're going to be able to kill the shadow regardless if I play it out. They've got Bolt and Stomp off the Bone Crusher. So, like, even if I go down to 9, or I guess I'd be going down to 7. But then I've just got Bolt, Stomp, Spike-Filled Hazard at my face, potentially. Does that change now that they've gotten rid of the Bolt? Also, why did they get rid of the Bolt? It's like their best card in hand by a decent margin. Surely they're not planning on Bone Crusher plus, like, Spike Field Lily. But I also think there's a chance I might be able to debate them with this Shadow and Wraith. Now if they just play out the Bone Crusher. Played out the Spike Field. They played out the Bone Crusher. Let's go Spell Bomb. Get my draw in. So I can traverse for a fetch land. Fetch Shock, play out Shadow, tick up. I can't take up Lily because of the Street Wraith. So I think I just Edict this, play out Shadow, and pass. Try to see if I can bait another, like, Stomp or something on the Shadow, cycle the Street Wraith, and then be able to traverse for another Shadow next turn. Actually gonna Stomp my Lily. Boom. Ah. Yeah, you don't care about your monkey. I just want to Lily Edict this Ragavan. I just want to traverse for another Shadow, right? Do I want to just get like a Tarmogoyf? Oh no, Scourge. I've got Scourge. This is perfect. Perfect time for Scourge. Ooh. Yeah, how's Scourge looking? Great. We totally remember it's in our deck when we need it. Why would we not? Here's a Liliana. You may sack one of those. Either one that you prefer. Yeah. Scourge. All right. We've got Brutalities. We've got Abrupt Decay. E's are okay. They're not great. Chalice on ones, meh. Really, our goal is just like keep from getting cheesed out by Blood Moon. So maybe I want to consider bringing in... I've considered it before, bringing in like Unlicensed Hearse just because you can play it through Blood Moon. And it is something that can attack. But we do have Springleaf Drum, so maybe that's good enough. Without a couple Thought Seizes. Yeah, let's roll with it. I kind of like keeping a couple copies of Street Wraith in there for just such an occasion as that last game we get to like cycle Street Wraith, protect a dude. It's got Goyf and Shadow Spear. Oh man, I gotta throw this back. I don't want to throw it back, but I think I've got to. Like, it's got all the pieces, like an answer to Blood Moon with Inquisition or Decay. It's got like our thread, it's got Shadow Spear. But yeah, I cannot keep that. Back a Shadow. Alright, well. The big hope is covered. I was afraid my opponent would have a turn 1 Ragavan and that would completely wreck our world. But they do not. So we get to just Thoughtseize. They do have a Blood Moon and a Magus. I do have this Springleaf Drum. So I probably just need to take Flame Slash so they don't have an answer to the turn 2 Goy. Another Den of the Bugbears on top. So I think what I'm going to have to do is like let them resolve the first Blood Moon effect. I Abrupt Decay it, or no, I let them resolve the first Blood Moon effect, and then they followed up with Spyro, ditch the second one, and I Abrupt Decay the first one. It also depends on what we find here. That can kill a Magus. So maybe I don't want... Pass. Sure. Blood Moon. Also kills a shaman. So if I escalate this, ditch Saga, kill this. Their hand is Spyro, Magus. They played Ramanap Ruins. I don't know the last one. Goy. They've done a good job of just ripping straight lands. Okay. Dismember off the top. It's worth a try. Kind of funny because honestly, I think I'd be like more scared of their lands or more scared of their lands than anything right now. Bloodman hurts the mono red deck a lot, right? Don't think I'm going to be able to deal with Obosh, though. Hold up. I retract my previous statement. I've got to kill Obosh, though, right? Yep. Okay. What is my plan? There is currently not a creature in the yard. Is that correct? Fable, Flame. Oh, no, there's Street Wraith. Never mind. Block Magus. Dismember the Obosh. Untap, attack, play Shadow. I could block the Fury, trade with it. Dismember the Obosh. And to turn Fatal Push the Magus. Dismember Fury, block Magus. I need to kill the Obosh. And this is like one of my only ways of doing that. Dismember Obosh, block Fury, and push Magus. We can't push Magus before damage because we won't have Revolt. That should mean they don't have like a lightning bolt in hand because they would have just cast it there. Like slow rolling the double bolt. Why didn't you just cast it with the Obosh around? Oh, please go for the... never mind. God! Don't find the lightning bolt. We could have gone like block Fury with Shadow, block Spyro, Springleaf Drum to Fatal Push the Ragavan. I mean, they drew well because they just were not missing land drops. Do like that. Bring in... Hearse is still pretty bad. Punt for them. They did draw well, but I mean, like, their entire deck is just redraws and, like, Blood Moon effects. They're meant to do one thing, and that's Blood Moon. All right. Keep it. More than happy to cast a hand disruption spell on one if I find it, but... Alright, so that gets basic forest. So I'm sort of out of the woods on a Blood Moon. what you got. Ah. Everything. Got it. Remember when I said their entire deck is just redraws and blood moons? Yeah. Not making that up. For 3, baby. It's probably what it's gonna be. I can also just like abrupt decay the first moon. First moon effect. Double Spyro is kind of awkward. See, like, it's really not. Because they're at 7 cards in hand. They're always going to have something they can ditch and still keep the second Spyro around. And even if they do ditch the second Spyro, like, they can always get the tokens back. I really need like a fetch land here. Okay. Your turn. One Spyro down. Magus, Bone Crusher gone. That's a pretty decent draw. So let's take a look at what you've got going on. Spyro Fury Blast Zone. Why do they have to have the Blast Zone? Of course they don't Fury. They're greedy. I'm just going to have to play this and crack and try to get damage through. I always get such a kick out of this deck because it's just like, hey, here's Ramanap Ruins, Den of the Bugbear, all these utility lands, Blast Zone, and then just like 4 Magus, 4 Blood Moon. Like, what are you doing here? All right. Quite the interactive spell we need. It is an M. Hayashi deck. Find like another Tarmogoyf, another threat. Yeah, they've got chump blockers like for days. I do have a Shadow Spear in the deck. That's like a non-zero thing. That would obviously just like win it for us on the spot. Take the Fury. And they've been ridiculously greedy. Like, they could have Furied and Slashed there. And they didn't. Oh, they just wanted to, like, hard cast the Fury. Alright. Shadow Spear off the top. One time. Why are you playing the Sekinzen? That's 2 more lands in hand. Or 2 more blockers in hand. Come on, Shadow Spear. Okay, we'll take a Dismember, because that can kill an Obosh. I was going to say, maybe they make the greed play of just like, don't block, take 6, plan on like playing Obosh and swinging back, and we get to kill the Obosh. That's right. Windmill slam that Obosh. Opponent, if you find a way to punt this game away, I will never, never forgive you. Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear. We deserve this. Okay. Okay. That is, in fact, not bad. These do still just have like a ton of stuff we got to deal with, but two healthy looking Lurgoys. Now I'm pretty sure we don't want a Shadow Spear. We want an answer to this reflection. Oh, man. So if they go flashback tokens, block, go to their turn, fire up Den, copy Den, they're attacking for 8, so I'm dead to that. So I think I have to shuffle away that Lily on their upkeep and not attack. No, I already played land for turn. Crap. Was the copy enter tapped? Okay. We are attacking with a Goyf. I guess it would just, I thought it would just like be the creature. All right, so we're dead to like Fury, red card. So 1, 2, 3, play Bone Crusher, copy. 1, 2, 3. So I don't have enough to Bone Crusher plus Den. Oh, man. So we need to find Shadow Spear. And even if we do, I'm pretty sure it's not enough. Should have played Shadow first, but whatever. Flame Slash. I see. Ramen app ruined me. Yeah. So we had 4 Sagas and a Shadow Spear that could have given us a chance, and 23 cards and couldn't find one. But, all right, let's pay out the prediction. Likes the scrub. But like, at the end of the day, I don't mind losing to mono red Obosh and like hardened scales, because they're just not decks that I'm ever going to try to prepare for. So like, if somebody wants to cheese out wins in a league with them, power to them. They can have those wins. But like, I'm never going to go into a big event saying, yeah, I need to tech for mono red Obosh, or I need to tech for hardened scales. And so like, as long as I'm winning the matchups that I should be geared for or gearing towards, I'm okay with that. And I feel like that's kind of the approach most people should take in leagues. Like, you're not going to trophy just some absurd amount if you're not trying to like cheese people out. But my goal isn't to trophy an absurd amount. My goal is to learn about the cards I'm playing, try out new ideas that haven't been tested, and get ready for the next like big actual events. And I hope for everybody watching the channel that that's what you're interested in as well. Because I will not, never will I advertise this stream as like, hey, we're going to go out and trophy 20 times a week. Like, no, we're going to learn. We're going to be students of the game.